Hi guys, my name is Victoria Beer. It has been 2 years since I was diagnosed with anxiety and depression, and 2 years since I first made a video. My first video will be in the description below. It details what I was going through when I was first diagnosed. So, in this video, I'm going to detail what I've learned about my anxiety and my depression, and tips and tricks to deal with your own bouts of depression and anxiety attacks. So what I've learned about anxiety is there are people who can have just a bout of anxiety where it is high levels of stress that they are not able to deal with at that very moment. It's almost like their body goes into shock. There are people who are like me, who have anxiety, and they will have anxiety the rest of their life. It is just different situations that they cannot control, which cause the anxiety. And there are also people who have anxiety disorders. And those people, their anxiety is based off a certain situation or scenario. Like, there is one that is called social anxiety, where it is brought on by being outside, being in a crowd, etc. So for me, with my anxiety, I have different symptoms. Some of them include in the morning when I wake up. That's when the mind starts going, starts thinking, and I start figuring out my day and thinking about it. And during that time, I can be very overwhelmed and I gag. The gagging is very annoying, and it is something that I'm trying to help myself eliminate, that I might not be able to stop since it is a symptom of my anxiety. Things that I've tried to help with that symptom is trying to focus on the now, but of course with anyone who has anxiety, your brain wanders, and it is very hard to focus on just one thought and try to stop the wandering. Another symptom would be if there's something I can't control or a situation that happens. Of course, there's the shaking, there is the numbness of, I feel numb, where thoughts don't seem to register or they're going too fast. Those are nerve-wracking and scary to say the least, since you're not thinking. So, things I try to do then is breathing exercises, and also trying to do positive things that keep me focused and in control, which would be coloring. You can watch a movie, go out with friends, have a phone conversation with someone. Just do something that keeps you distracted and away from those thoughts that are scaring you in a way. And if you can start having a conversation, then thoughts will start coming back. Another thing that I've started to do is writing down thoughts, if I can. An example of that. So an example of these thoughts that I write down would be, there's one that was about a month ago that I wrote down. I wrote, thoughts buzzing, can't pinpoint one, headache, yelling, tired, work, Starbucks, such a white girl, headphones, breathing, comfort, don't miss him, want my cat, feel tired, feel brain is foggy, thoughts bouncing in head giving me a headache, want chips, why are my thoughts so random, feel a little clearer after writing, want to try journal to write thoughts. So during that time, my thoughts are all over the place, anything can come to mind, and that's why it's so confusing and annoying during that time. So, other things, so for an anxiety attack, which could be high levels of stress of something you can't control, or just whatever situation is going on. And for me, I go into the fetal position where I start to curl into myself, and I'm not breathing properly, and I'm just overall panicking and shaking. The best thing to do is when you realize and recognize that you are having anxiety. If you are someplace with a friend or a family member, you tell them that you are having an anxiety attack, and you need them to sort of help you in a way. If you are alone or you're not beside friends, you need to take this time to either, if you can, go somewhere private, like a bathroom. If that is not something you can do, that you're stuck in place, that is fine. But what you need to do is, if you can, sit up straight. You sit up straight. You then need to take one deep breath and calm yourself. Just a little bit if you can. You then can do something like this. This was taught to me. This centers yourself, and it also, when you're going to tap alternatively, like this, as you're breathing, and this gives you something to focus on. So you were centered, focusing, and then you were going to start breathing. And for everyone, it is different. For me, breathing in for 4 seconds, holding for 2, and out for 4 again is something that grounds me more, and I'm able to have full oxygen in my body and makes me feel comfortable. But for everyone, it can be different. So you need to try and figure out how many seconds is right for you. So once you do that, it will take a couple minutes of breathing and alternatively tapping your shoulders to finally be in a place where you can breathe a little clearer. And at that point, if you can, go up and go for a walk so that you can just keep clearing your mind and just moving around more, so you're not so uptight and kind of freaking out in that one spot. And after that, try and keep it in the past. Don't try and completely focus on you, oh my gosh, I just had a panic attack. Focus on trying to make yourself a little happier. So in that moment, watch a video, talk with your friends if you can. For bouts of depression, those can last for days, weeks, months, hopefully not. But in those, you really need to use your supports, and you need to advocate for yourself, for self-care and everything like that. So telling your friends that you need their help. You yourself need to get yourself out of bed. You need to have a shower. You need to get dressed and eat. And then you need to start doing activities that help yourself. So either going out with your friends, talking with them on the phone if you don't feel like you can leave the house. I like to put Lego together, coloring, movies, being with your animals, go for a walk, anything. Just keep yourself moving, active, because if you are in a docile situation where you're just completely in one spot this whole time and you're just fully drowned in your depression, it is not fun. For some people, depression, it feels like they describe it as a black hole. Others feel like they're just a complete pressure, and for me, it feels like I have pressure. It feels like somebody has their hands on my shoulder, and it's just a light pressure, but it is a pressure that is always recognizable. I am always thinking about it if I am not able to get my supports at that point. And when you're focusing on that you have depression at that moment, that you're depressed, that you're sad, that you start thinking about all sorts of different thoughts, that can make you stay in your depressive situation longer. So, in all, self-care is important. Things that can help you more would be seeing a counselor, doing meditation and exercise, but also you can take medication. Some people don't feel like medication is right for them, and that is completely fine. For me, I find medication, it helps me get to a level where I can deal with my anxiety and depression by myself. And when you're on medication, you need to understand it will not work right away. It is going to take time. And during that time, you need to be able to be in a place where you can help yourself with your self-care, with your supports. You need to have everything in place that you can help yourself. Because during that time, you are still going to be at a point where you were just diagnosed and you're freaking out. But after a few months, and after different trials with different medications and finding the right one, you will finally be at a point that you can help yourself. It took time for me, and it did suck. Of course, it's always going to suck. It still sucks having anxiety and depression, but I'm actually at a point where I can help myself, which is great. Another thing you can do is have apps ready. I know there is the Healthy Minds app, and I believe it's by the Mental Health Institution. It is a great tool to help you when you're depressed or having anxiety, or even you're feeling fine. It keeps track of every time you make a post and you pick an emoticon that says, or emoji, sorry, where you're either happy, you're annoyed, you have anxiety, you're depressed, and you can explain what happened to make that happen, and then it gives you tools. So breathing exercises, different activities you can do. It's a very helpful tool. And there's so many out there. There's so many things that can help you, tools, blogs, videos. Use them, please. They help. Because you're not alone. You're not the only one in the world that has anxiety or depression. There's so many people that have it. But we were all in our way unique and different, because there's 250 different symptoms. So we're all different, but we can all connect in a way. And so if you have any questions, I will be happy to answer them. But the best thing to do is, when you believe that you have anxiety, go see your family doctor so that they can actually clinically diagnose you. And then start making steps of researching about the different types of anxiety and how you can help yourself. I gave you some tips and tricks, and I hope they can help a little bit, but it's up to you to help yourself. You are important. You are number one, and that is hard to do if you're a very caring, compassionate person that tries to put other people before you. You need to put yourself before them, because you yourself are important, okay? So keep breathing, keep helping yourself, leave questions, comments from below, and I hope you have a great day.